First thing I'm gonna do is turn off that auto stop feature, because it really does get on my nerves having the engine stop just for like half a second when I stop at a stop sign or something like that. Now, I think the auto start feature would be less annoying to me if it waited a couple seconds of you just sitting there being stopped before it engaged, before it turned the engine off. I think that would be a little bit more reasonable, but as soon as you come to a complete stop, it cuts the engine off. So not a big fan of that, because it's constantly stopping and starting the engine all the time, and don't like it. For one thing, you know, if you have your air conditioning on, then it might be an issue. Once the RPMs get up, then the vehicle flies. But until those RPMs go, it's kind of like, you know, not all that powerful in the very beginning. You really have to get the RPMs up. And it's very bouncy. This truck is extremely bouncy. So if you have issues with motion sickness, and I'm being serious now, this truck might not be for you, because it bounces all over the place. It bounces left to right, forward to back. I mean, it's just like it feels a little bit unstable at first when you first drive it. It's kind of surprising how bouncy it is. I'm not talking about just regular wheel hop from, say, you know, leaf springs in the back of a truck, which is pretty normal with those type of trucks. But I'm just talking about just bouncy in general. Like just coming to a stop, the truck wants to bounce. When I accelerate and change speeds, it wants to bounce. Every little bump in the road. Which I'm taking this road because it's very smooth. Have to get those RPMs up just to get it going. But it does feel strong. Once you get those RPMs up, it is nice and powerful engine. For a 4-cylinder, it's unbelievable. And the cruise control, and it has the adaptive cruise control, which is really nice, because it keeps you at a safe distance between you and the vehicle in front of you and all that stuff. Pretty quiet truck too. And the 10-speed transmission seems to be fine, but that occasionally, because the RPMs have to be fairly high in order to have that power that it, you know, that the power that the engine's kind of made for because of the turbo, it seems like it shifts gears right when the engine's just getting ready to get in that power range. Then it shifts gears to a lower RPMs sometimes, and it seems like it's just kind of missing the mark. But on a nice smooth road like this, there's very few bumps. It's the bounciness doesn't really cause a problem. It's still bouncy, but you know, it's less so of a problem on a road like this. This is nice and comfortable. Starting into some boaty bumps, makes it feel like a boat bouncing. Now, I did a video on a 2019, and people had mentioned that it's the FX4 package that's making it feel more bouncy and boaty. So, you know, keep that in consideration. Maybe if it didn't have that package, then it would not be so bouncy. You can take one for a test drive and see if it matches your preferences. Now, I couldn't imagine, like, the off-road package, if you're going off-road, that means you're going to have nothing but bumps, you know? So it seems odd that a off-road package would make it bounce more, because if you got all these... Basically, if the suspension is bouncing, it's like it's an uncontrolled, you know, spring bounce, then it's going to be kind of hard to have control of your off-road experience. Because if you're, you know, bouncing around on off-road, you know, rocks, mud, or whatever, then, you know, you kind of have to have some connection to the road there in order to, the surface that you're driving on, especially slick surfaces. You start bouncing around on ice or something like that, you're going to lose control in a second. Because you want as least amount of movement as possible on surfaces like that. So, anyways, seems kind of odd. There's a few likes and dislikes I listed out. I went into more details on the likes and dislikes on this particular Ranger that they're selling in the United States now. And it's on my channel, and I'll put a link in the description if you're interested in my personal subjective likes and dislikes, because there's quite a few things in here that I think if maybe on a brief test drive you may not fully appreciate or understand or you know, notice or whatever, but if you drive it for several days or maybe a week, there's certain things that just kind of, you know, either positively or negatively kind of stand out. So anyways, I'll have the link in the description, because I don't want to list them off now and not get them all, because I can't remember all of them off the top of my head. So I have a whole separate video for that. I'll go into a lot more detail and explain myself. It's not just you know, assertions too much. It's more so, you know, I do have some valid reasons to have the opinions that I have on this truck here. But anyways, thank you for watching. Hopefully this has been helpful. It's just a little test drive experience. You can hear the way the engine responds and stuff, and I don't know if the bounciness is apparent on film on the camera. It's a big problem for me anyway, because I do have motion sickness, and it does you know, it's a little bit of an issue. So anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.